if you don't see yourself, if you don't recognize yourself, how do you actually love yourself? Hi, this is Dr. Duc Vuong. I'm the world's #1 weight loss surgeon, author of the best-selling Ultimate Gastric Sleep Success, available on Amazon. This is video number 4 of our 5-part series on the long-term success tips. Let me ask you this question. Have you had weight loss surgery just to regain the weight? Answer is no. We have weight loss surgery so that we can keep the weight off, right? And people mistakenly think the weight's gone forever, Dr. V. Weight is gone forever. I said, no, bitches. No. Weight is not gone forever. Weight is gone for now. What I want to do is teach you how to really keep this weight off long term. So in this video, we're going to talk about the emotional, psychological side of weight loss surgery. Now, this part is the part that really trips people up. Amen? Give me an amen if you agree with that, right? Everybody who has weight loss surgery thinks that it's about the surgery. Dr. Vuong, just approve my surgery. If only my insurance would approve it. I have 6-month diet plan I've got to do. I got to pass my psych eval. I got to save up. Dr. Vuong, just do my surgery. If I could only get my surgery, then my life would change. That's pre-op. And then post-op, get slapped all around. And then you realize, oh shit, man, it's really about the emotional, psychological side. So what I want to do is tell you what you can expect, and some of the pitfalls, like the spots where it's going to get you, okay? All right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the pre-op. Now, some of you guys have friends or loved ones that are about to have weight loss surgery. Maybe you yourself are considering it. This part really applies to you. So this is a good time to tag your friends or loved ones that you know are thinking about having weight loss surgery, okay? What is the emotional part that you have to think about pre-op? Okay, so this part, there's a lot of judgment. By that, what I mean is criticism from others. Amen? And what you're really dealing with is like embarrassment. Bare ass meant. Can't ever remember, there's 1 or 2 R's in embarrassment. All right, so I'm so embarrassed. I think it's 2 R's. And bare ass. So when you're getting ready for weight loss surgery, they say stuff like, I don't want people to know. Right? Comment if you were one of these people who are like, oh, I'm just a private person. I don't want people to know. Trust me. Listen, everybody knows you're fat. Everybody knows you're fat. So here's what I want to say to all you pre-ops. Control the narrative. Someone write that in the comments section for me. I want you to quickly start to control your narrative. Like, quit being shy, embarrassed. Quit feeling like you let everybody down, like you can't, oh my God, I can't believe I let myself get to be this big. It's embarrassment. No, I want you to control the narrative. In other words, own the story, right? Own the story. Girl, listen, tell me. Let me tell you, everybody knows you're obese. There's no hiding it. Even if you're not that big, you're at least, you have requirements to meet to have weight loss surgery, right? And if you meet them, dude, own the story. Don't be embarrassed by it, because that's the fastest way to kill this shit. Fastest way to stop the criticism. If you want to be criticized, then don't tell anybody. Let them whisper behind your back. Let HR talk about it to your bosses. Let your boss try to explain why you need 2 weeks off from work, or why let you tell people why you're drinking protein shakes. Getting ready for weight loss surgery, or you can control the narrative, right? Say, hey, man, I know I let myself go, but I'm doing something about it. I'm doing something about it, okay? And I need you to support me. Like, you get them on your side. I need you to support me. Now, you don't need them to support you. This is what you're just going to tell them. You really don't need them on your side. You need a skinny Asian on your side. You don't need all these other negative people, but that's just what you tell them, right? You just tell them, I need your support. If you're not going to give it to me, That's okay. We can still be friends, but we're just not going to be that close anymore. That's it. Control the narrative. Okay, now that will shut them off or will really piss them off, okay? Because what happens is when you start trying to change, it's a story about the bucket of crabs. Have you ever, I grew up in Houston, in Texas, right? And if you catch crabs, you put them in a bucket. Every now and then you'll find a crab that's starting to climb the bucket. He's trying to get out. He's got his claws dug into the styrofoam and he's starting to make his way up. But then if you notice something, you look real closely, all the other little crabs in the bucket start reaching up and they'll actually pull that little crab back down. That's exactly what's going to happen to you, Preop. That's going to happen to you, Mary, Jane, Stephen, Joe. When you are trying to improve your life, the rest of those other little crabs, man, they don't want to see you escaping. So they'll pull you back down, right? So the best thing for you to do is control this narrative. Tell the story, how you want to do it. I know I let myself go. I know I let you down. I know I could be better. I'm really not healthy. Or maybe I look healthy. Whatever story it fits to you, right? Yeah, yes, I know we're all big boned. Yes, I know it's genetics. Yes, I know. But I'm going to change that. I'm going to be the person who changes that for us, okay? So don't let that fat brain, and what we're going to talk about a lot here, and I'll put it up here so it'll stay. What we're really talking about is the fat brain, okay? And pre-op, it becomes more like, oh, I don't know. And it also comes from a place of like failure, embarrassment and failure. Like I've tried every diet. First of all, that shit's not true. You haven't tried every diet, right? None of us have tried every diet. No, I've tried thousands of diets. No, that's not true either. You've tried a handful of diets. But either way, it's another time. Maybe you did it once before. Maybe you do it every New Year's. You think you're going to start over. You're going to try to do something for yourself. And then try a diet or whatever, and then you get off of it in a couple months. Or maybe in the past, you've lost 50 or 60 pounds dieting on your own, and you regained it, plus some. I mean, a lot of people say, dude, they've lost, 1,000 pounds, 50 pounds at a time, right? So maybe it's this fear of failure, like of being criticized again. But the best way to do it is finally kind of to decide this is what you're going to do. All right, so pre-op. You're going to own the story. And now you're going to study. So own the story, and now you're going to study. Okay? This is super important. And this will keep going on. This will be a theme for the rest of you bitches watching too. Right? You got to study. Don't just approve my surgery, Dr. V. If insurance approve my surgery. No. You got to start doing the hard work. Amen. Give me some amens if you agree. The hard work, you should have started it before surgery, right? You should have been studying before. You should have watched more Dr. V videos. Listen, if you're not already following me on YouTube, I've got 400 free channels, free videos on YouTube, and I've got them organized into playlists, so you can just sit there and binge watch a bunch of them, right? So just do that. Just decide you're going to study. And let me tell you, now pay attention to all the comments that are happening on this video, right? Most of them are going to tell you, dude, my doctor didn't have much pre-op. I mean, I only met with my dietitian a couple times. I only saw my surgeon one time. They only gave me a booklet that was maybe 25 pages thick, maybe only 8 pages. Maybe they only gave me a little tiny handbook thing. It's not enough, whatever it was, unless you were one of my patients where we were really obnoxious about the education. You probably don't have enough material. Amen? So go to Amazon, look up my books. And it doesn't have to be my books. I just happen to be the guy that has the most content out. I don't really know any other surgeons that have as many videos. If there were other people, I'd tell you to get their stuff. But there really isn't. So for right now, you're stuck with Dr. V. You love him or hate him. I mean, this is all you got, girl. It's all you got, right? So own your story and start studying. All right, now we want to talk about perioperative people. We're going to talk about how the fat brain jacks you up around the time of surgery. So perioperative means around surgery, okay? So these are people who you got your surgery date, right, to about, 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 months post-op. All right, so you have your surgery date. Maybe you're drinking your shakes. In fact, comment if right now you're like watching Dr. V drinking your protein shake, trying to get ready for surgery. You're like, oh damn, he's right, you know. Or you're 2 or 3 months post-op, or you're in the hospital recovering. You're like, damn, that skinny Asian's right. Okay, so perioperative. Prior to surgery, you're gonna be really scared. All right, nervous. Okay, like you're really excited, like, oh my gosh, it's like Christmas Day. Ah, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. If you have your surgery date but you haven't had surgery yet, and you're getting a little bit nervous, so here's what's happening. So your husband, who loves you, like, baby, he starts saying stuff like, baby, I love you just the way you are. You don't have to have the surgery. And now you're starting to doubt, right? Like, you're like, oh, dang, like maybe he's right. Like maybe I don't want it, you know. And then, you know, maybe Aunt Marge is like, hey, you know, I had that bypass surgery back 20 years ago, and I regained all the weight. And now you're thinking to yourself, dude, oh, yeah, Aunt Mary, Aunt Marge, and Joanne and everybody just, they've regained a lot of their weight back. Like, how do I know I'm going to be any different, right? And then somebody's going to message you on Facebook, and they'll be like, I love you, and don't tell anybody this, but you remember, you know, Joanne from 6th grade, from middle school, like she died from the surgery. Shh, don't tell anybody. Come on, don't let those fuckers get to you, okay? Don't let them get to you. You've worked too hard, right? Because if you did what Dr. V just told you, you studied, you owned the story, you took ownership, see, you've worked too hard. All right? Which is going to repeat itself to another theme you're going to see later. You are worth it. All these people who cloak themselves as, you know, we love you, we're trying to look out for you. They're those crabs who are trying to pull you back into the bucket. They're like, oh, it's not too late yet, Mary. It's not too late yet. And then you have to realize, like, why are they doing that? I'm 5'5", 300 pounds, or I'm 280. I've got diabetes. I've got high blood pressure. I'm tired of the sleep apnea machine. Why are they telling me it's okay? Think about that. Why are these people telling me, if they really love me, why are they telling me not to have surgery? Because the truth of the matter is this. Why aren't they telling you you're a fat fucker? Like, why aren't they saying, dude, you need to do something about your health before you die and you leave your kid an orphan? Why aren't they telling you that? Right? Because this will come into play after surgery. You're going to find out who your real friends are. Right? Okay. And that's the thing. Like, most of you say, boy, when I was big, when I was 300 pounds, nobody told me, boy, you're looking really terrible being 300 pounds. Here, eat another donut. I mean, they were always like, let's go eat some more. What are we going to have for a snack? Try this recipe. Oh my God, a Cinnabon opened down the street. None of them are ever telling you, well, you know, you had another heart attack. Maybe it's time we look into doing something about it, you know? So, you are worth it, okay? I want to leave that up here. You are worth it. If you're taking notes, these are super important things for you to take note. Okay, so Dr. Vuong, I'm scared. I want you to change it. Because I did this with my patients. And they'll say, like, I'm really nervous. I'm nervous. And I say, are you scared or are you excited? And the newbies would be like, no, I'm scared. And no, you have to say you're excited. You have to say you're excited. Let me explain why you're excited. Okay. If you're nervous, how do you feel? I'm really nervous. Like I have to give a talk in front of people. I have to stand up and give a speech or report, or I have an assessment with my boss, a job interview, whatever it could be, right? Like you're nervous. How do you feel? Well, you have like little butterflies in here. Maybe you're just kind of pacing. Maybe you find it hard to sleep. Maybe your palms get sweaty. Maybe you're just a little on edge like that. So you're nervous, right? You're nervous. A little. Well, okay. Let me ask you about this. How do you feel when you're excited? Well, as it turns out, boy, you kind of have these butterflies in your belly. Your chest is kind of like this way, and your palms start sweating, and you're like you can't sit still. Hey, listen, It's the same. So excitement, nervousness, and excitement are the same. Same emotions. I want you to understand that. This is the same emotions. I got cold feet, Dr. Vuong. No, you're excited for your surgery, bitch. I'm thinking about, I'm nervous about my surgery. I'm thinking about not doing it. Well, no, you're excited. You've worked too hard for this. Don't get talked out. As long as you understand the risk and the complications can happen. And your surgeon should explain that to you. And you should be very comfortable with where you are. As long as you're comfortable and you understand the risks, it's really the same emotion. Okay? What's the difference? The difference is this. One is positive. One is negative. Which feeling is positive? That's right. Excitement. Which feeling is negative? That's right. Nervousness. Which feeling is going to help you? That's right. Being excited. Which feeling is going to hurt you? That's right. Being nervous. Which feeling is going to drive all of the competent, excellent professionals and truly supportive people away from you? You acting all nervous and scared. Which feeling is going to attract all of the takers and the bloodsuckers and the drama queens? That's right. Nervousness, anxiety. They love that shit. They want you to be nervous. They want you to be anxious. And they pile it on top of you. They act like they're trying to help you and help you through it and get through it, but they're not. They're vampires. They're emotional vampires, and they're dwelling on your nervousness. They're causing drama. They're saying, I told you so. So in case something bad happens, they'll say, I told you not to do it. I told you this would happen. But, 99.95% of the complications, you're going to recover from just fine. You won't even notice anything a year from now. So you want to focus on the positive feeling, right? Positive feeling. Okay, that's right prior to surgery. Now, let me make sure I have room. Yes. Okay. So, right after surgery. Right after surgery, let's say you're in the hospital, or most likely that first week home, like first week. The emotional mind game you're going to have right now during this period is this. It's called buyer's remorse. Give me an amen if you had some buyer's remorse. You're going to get home and you're going to be like, what the fuck did I do? I mean, I got these incisions. I was a single incision expert, so I had one, maybe two little incisions for most of my patients. And, some people, the average laparoscopy has 5 small incisions. You're going to have these little incisions, and you're going to be lying in bed. It's itchy. You can't get comfortable. You got your pillow. You're rolling. You can't breathe. You can't lay on your side. You can't lay on this side. It's fucking hurt. It's always, okay, amen, right? It's the left side. You can't lay down the left side. You're like, ugh. And you're barely sipping water, like you're sipping water. You just want to eat. Everything you smell makes you feel nauseated. You're like, oh, like you can't take another protein shake. And your program's nurse is calling you. It's like, hi, this is Nurse Betty, just calling to make sure you're doing okay. And you're like, oh, I'm so nauseated. Like, oh, that's great. Make sure you drink your Premier Protein shake. All right, and have some Pedialyte. And you're sitting there going, bitch, have you ever drank Pedialyte? That shit tastes gross, man. Like, I'm just suffering, make sure you're up and walking. Use your sinusprometer. Take a deep breath. Like, fuck you, bitch. Like, I just, make the pain go away. Buyer's remorse, right? You're going to feel bad. Your poor husband's like, baby, you want a heating pad? And you're like, yes, you're fucking get away from me, man. Like, get away. So, that really jacks with your brain. But trust me on this, it's temporary. It's not unlike when you buy a new car. When you buy a new car and you're like, you're driving off the parking lot, you think you got a fantastic price on it. It's your dream car. Let's say it's like a nice Mercedes, it's all right, or even a Camry, whatever. It's new to you. You loving it, you smelling it, smell that new car, you got a great deal on it, you drive off the parking lot, and what do you notice at the very first red light? You look at the first red light, you're like, ooh, I got leather seats, I got this kind of fancy light that comes on when I open up the mirror, and then you look across and you go, damn, there's the same car right there. Yeah, I know you didn't get as good of a price as I got, so you just keep driving. At the next red light, you go, dude, there's another car just like it right there. Dude, there's another car passing me. Same car. Buyer's remorse. Let me tell you, it's only temporary, right? Everybody goes through this, and your recovery will be different. I mean, some people are like, woo, I went back to work in 2 days. Well, maybe not. Don't believe everything you read on Facebook. It's not always accurate or true. Be prepared. It's going to jack with you. That's what's important. All right. So that first week is buyer remorse. Now the first month, post-op. Let me see. Make sure. Yeah, you're going to suffer from something I call postpartum depression. And I'm not here to make fun of anyone who's had postpartum depression, because this is a serious problem, trust me. But it's like when you have a baby. I mean, maybe you've had it yourself, right? You've been waiting to have this baby. Hey, I'm announcing I'm pregnant. I wanted to make sure that we made it through a week. It's 18 weeks, and baby's viable. We heard the heartbeat, and you post it on Facebook. It's not legitimate until it's on Facebook. We're pregnant, yay! And then you do the sex party reveal, like, hey, we're having a boy, everything's pink, everything's blue, blah, blah, blah. And then by the 9th month, you're like big, and you're like, oh, when is this ever going to get here, right? Now you're like thinking like surgery. When's my surgery ever going to get here? So you're like, when is this baby ever going to get here? And then, boop, you have the baby, right? You have weight loss surgery. You have the baby, boop. Everyone's like, oh, yay, that's awesome. You did great. So you post on your Facebook groups, like, I just had my sleeve surgery. It's amazing. I'm recovering. Thank you for all your prayers and wishes. And you have like 100 comments, and you're like, man, I've never had that many comments before, right? And they're all like, yay, it's so great. I'm so glad you made it through the surgery. And you're at home, and you're trying to recover, and you're trying to take care of your little sleeve baby or your bypass baby. And then one day you wake up. And you post something like, oh, I'm so happy, everything's going great, and nobody comments. There's fewer and fewer likes every time you post. Eventually it goes away. And you're like, well, what am I supposed to do now? It's like postpartum depression with your surgery. I hope you guys understand the analogy. You had this big, massive 6-month, 8-month, 12, however long it took you to save up for the surgery, however many times you got cold feet and backed up. Now, eventually you had the surgery, there's this huge buildup, and then boom, it's gone. And that first month you're like, dude, what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, so here's the part that's important. You got to get your head back in the game. Got to get your head back in it. Right? You got to get your head back in it as fast as possible. You can't be like Marie Osmond and go crazy and nutso. And you got to like really control it. Control like the suffering and the feelings and the emotions. And this is why we're talking about this. Because what happens at that 1 month, right? You have that dreaded, and I've taught all of you guys this. This is the 4 to 6 week weight loss plateau. Like, you did the surgery to lose weight, right? And you're doing fine. Everything's flying by. Weight's melting off. And then somewhere around the 1 month mark, 4 weeks, 6 weeks post-op, you're like, dude, I haven't lost any weight the last 2 weeks. In fact, I actually gained some weight. Dude, that happened. It's everybody. That happens to everybody. That's just like when you have an actual baby, and that fucking baby like cries, needs to be fed every 4 hours, wakes up every 4 hours, needs a diaper change, and you're up all night long, just like don't you ever sleep? Like, yeah, it happens to all of us, you know. These are some of the perioperative emotions that you're going to feel. I'll be back to talk about the longer term stuff. All right, I want to talk about some of the emotional mind games now that happens to you after you've had surgery. We're going to talk about maybe 6 months to 1 year period post-op. Now this is going to be most of you guys watching this video. right? Some of the emotional mind games that you're going to experience, and it can go longer, trust me. So we'll do 1 year, we can do 1 to like 3 years, we can do 3 to 5 years, 5 years and above, something like that. And they can all apply to any of this range, but here's a few of them. The mind game you're going to have most is this: excitement. I mean, you're shrinking, clothes are coming down easy, you're out of the window, most likely for complications, you've healed up, you made a lot of changes, so you're healed now, you've made changes, and by changes, I mean you got you got rid of the old friends, you made new friends, relationships might have broken up, right? Relationships, jobs, lots of changes are happening, and you're excited. You're super excited, and it's awesome. We are so glad you're excited. You want to be excited. My warning to you for this emotional side is this: it's like, dude, don't go overboard. Try to be steady, steady, not too much. Excitement is great. But don't when you get too excited too fast, that's when you start seeing people post about transfer addictions to alcoholism. They turn into alcoholics because now they're going out, they're partying. Finally, they're getting attention from the opposite sex. Girls' night out. Liquor gets them drunk a lot faster. They're super excited. They're really going crazy. Once in a while that might be okay, but boy, every night you're in trouble. It's cool to want to buy new clothes and that sort of stuff, but if you're up all night online shopping, buying clothes off of Amazon, you're in trouble. It's too much of a roller coaster. You got to stay steady. Really don't stay focused, right? Stay focused. And I want to remind everybody in this phase that it is a marathon. Now let me ask you about the marathon. Everyone knows the saying. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I get it. Okay. All right, let me ask you this question. Let's duck it up. How long is the marathon? 26 miles, Dr. V. 26 days, Dr. V. Until I hit my goal weight, Dr. V. Wrong! It's a lifelong marathon. Because even when you hit your goal weight, girl, you can regain the weight. Amen? Give me some amens. It's a lifelong marathon. You can regain the weight. You are worth it. It's a lifelong marathon. Okay? Now, around the 1 to 3 years period, hopefully you're near goal weight. And you might have regained a little bit. You might have gotten off track a little bit. You're near your goal weight. That's okay. But you get the idea. You're around there. You're playing with the same 10, 15 pounds, Dr. V. I'm thinking about having plastic surgery, Dr. V. Had plastic surgery, Dr. V. Number one mind game is this: I don't see it. Ooh, this one fucks you up. Put a big star by this one. So if you're 6 months, you're getting up to your 1 year, watch out for this. I don't see it. I look in the mirror and I still see that fat girl. I still see my 280-pound person. I walk by my reflection and I don't realize it's me. It really jacks with you guys. You got to prepare for this. And men too. It happens to men too, right? It's a separation, right? It's a massive separation from between mind and body. You have to imagine how hard it is to walk past a mirror and not recognize yourself. It's not a funny meme. We post about it in our Facebook groups and they laugh about it and oh, I didn't recognize myself. My own shadow scared me. Ha ha ha. Listen, girl, it's not funny. It's not funny. A few years ago, they did the first human facial transplant, which they took. Somebody had been his face was literally ripped off by a gorilla, and then he was on the face transplant, list. So he was the first face transplant. And they had to do a lot of psychological evaluation and training and preparation, because when you open your eyes, it's not your fucking face. Right? Now, all you have to do is look at an old picture of you when you were 300 pounds and the new picture of you when you're 150 pounds. Just look at the face alone. And don't be like, oh my God, this is amazing, I see the difference. No, be like, dude, I'm a whole different person. I'm a totally different person. If my ex-husband saw me today, he would not recognize me. If my old best friend from high school saw me today, she would not recognize me. If my old coworkers from last year's job saw me today, they wouldn't recognize me. If they don't recognize me, then there's a good chance I don't recognize myself. Amen? Okay, so why is this important? If you don't recognize yourself, pay attention now. How do you love yourself? This is why this is not funny. If you don't see yourself, if you don't recognize yourself, how do you actually love yourself? How are you actually kind to yourself? How do you actually nourish yourself? How do you choose good stuff? Right? How do you forgive others for being mean to you? I mean, who are you forgiving? Well, who should that forgiveness be given to? It's not you. You don't recognize you. Does that make sense what I'm saying? This is a super big thing. So it's nice to keep those old photos around, and you can always keep a few and look back and be shocked and awed. But I would tell you, spend a lot of time looking in the mirror, doing body mirror work. So Megan Fettis and I, if you guys didn't see my free videos, we did the lunch and learn on body image. Free videos on, you can find them on YouTube under body image, under my lunch and learn tab, playlist, where she talks about this. We spent like 10 weeks talking about your body image, like what you're looking at. How do you reconnect your mind to your body? How do you start seeing? And I'm telling you, the more I did this with Tina, and then also with Megan, and they've given me a lot of insight, and I've thought about this a lot more for my community and my following, and I think this is terrible. Like, I think this shit is not funny. When you see somebody who posts this on Facebook or Instagram and say, I don't really see what you're talking about, I don't see what people are showing me, like, don't dismiss it. Tell them to watch this video and say, girl, you got to get your head back in the game. Because who are you going to love? Okay? Super powerful, super good. So why is this important? Because now when you're 3 or 5 years out, no one cares. You wake up one day and you realize no one cares about you. They're sick and tired of hearing about your weight loss surgery. They're sick and tired of hearing about your Dr. V. You moved away. You got a new job. You're not even hanging out with the same people. No one knows you were fat, right? No one knows you used to be 300 pounds. No one knows the old you. And you moved to this little town, or you moved to this job, and you're like, look at me, I lost 150 pounds. And everyone's like, oh, okay, that's great, Mary, cool. Can you file these papers for me? Like, no one cares about you. And then you're like, what the fuck did I do this for? I mean, no, look at me. Look at me. I really did it. I've kept the weight off. I've lost 120 pounds and kept the weight off. Look at me. 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 But what happened was, before, who's me? Right? Who am I? Why should we look at you? What have you done? Great, you lost 150 pounds and kept it off. How does that affect? Good for you, Mary. But that doesn't help me pay my bills. That doesn't help me, like, what do I do about my cheating husband? What do I do about my boss who's mean to me? What do I do about my kids who are on drugs? It's, this conversation is turning kind of dark, but by the time you realize what a cool ass thing that you did getting healthy and having weight loss surgery, By the time you realize that you deserve the love and that you're a good human and you deserve to be treated well, the world's moved on, girl. The world's moved on because they've all worried, they all have their own problems to worry about. And now you're left going, wait, what about me? What about me? What about you? Okay? Which, now the question is this. What about 5 years out? Answers we don't really know. There are very, very few of them. But I will tell you the numbers don't look good. The follow-up is not so good. Most of them are lost to follow-up. Even the long-term studies where we can get people 5 years out or more. Only the ones who are doing well show up. Trust me. If you were more than 5 years out and you had regained most of your weight, would you go back to see your surgeon? Yeah, I would, Dr. Vuong. I don't think so. No, because you didn't go back to see him at this point. You didn't come back and see me at this point. You didn't come back to group at this point because I got it, Dr. V. I'm all excited. You see what I'm saying? You see the progression? You see what I did to you there? I worked your ass backwards. We just don't really know. But I'm telling you, there's probably a lot more failures, and I hate to use that words. There's probably more unsuccessful stories than we realize. Than we're willing to admit. Now, why am I telling you this? It's because we want to change this. This is what the Dr. V community is about. Dr. V is not a person. Yeah, I'm cute. I'm the surgeon, written 13 books. Talk to you, cuss at you like no other. Keeping it real. But Dr. V is a community. It's you guys. I'm calling out you guys who are over 5 years out, 8 years out, struggling. Come back in. I want to hear from you guys that are far out who are successful. What have you done to be successful? Tell people, did you have a divorce? Did you finally get rid of your fat, negative husband and your family members who are negative and you got rid of everybody? Teach us so we can tell the story. Even if you've regained all your weight, tell the story. Why did you regain the weight? Don't tell me, oh, well, I had it done so long ago, like there was no material. Or I wish I'd met Dr. V 5 years ago, then I wouldn't have regained the weight. That doesn't help us. You didn't have Dr. V 5 years ago. What did you do? What caused you to regain the weight? Help us backtrack this. But from everything I've done working with you guys, these are the important steps. These are the mind stumbling blocks that get y'all. Okay? And this is 5 years out. It's more of it's not even a giving up. It's not a giving up. It's like, I just don't care. Like it is the common. It is normal now. It's not spectacular. You're not really talking about it anymore because it's your new normal. This is my new normal. What do you want from me? I've always made bad choices. See, I told you. I told you this weight loss surgery wouldn't work. I told you I have bad habits. I told you I was a worst case scenario. See, you reinforce those stories. But you didn't change it, right? You didn't do any. So here's critical, right? Who cares? Now that sounds mean. But what this really is calling you guys out to say, do something. You've been given this opportunity to radically change your health. Not just lose 150 pounds, not get rid of your diabetes medicines, high blood pressure, CPAP machine. All that's great. Now what you gonna do, bitch? What are you gonna do with the gift that you've been given? Because one day you're gonna look up and no one cares that you lost 150 pounds. Because you don't impact the world. Do something, girl. Write a book. Start telling your story. Go back to school. Be an example. Even if it's just an example to your kids. Even if you show your teenage daughter, listen, don't date that asshole. You deserve better. I'm worth it, right? Because when you're at this level, you're close to the goal, you better start seeing how fabulous you are, how short life really is, right? When you're getting through, when you recover from surgery, you got to stay focused. You got to stay focused on all the changes. It's a lifelong marathon. It's not a short sprint, right? You got to understand that ultimately you're worth it. But you're only worth it to the extent that you do something that impacts the world. Do something that will impact the world. Skinny is a side effect. You'll lose the weight. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Life is short, everybody. I love you very much. I'll see you next time. Hi, Dr. Vuong here. If you loved that video, I hope you will check out velocity2020.com. I want to meet you in person. This is my big annual conference in Vegas. It's amazing. It's not just about weight loss surgery, but it's about taking your life up to the next level. You're going to meet the best people, the best speakers, the best audience possible. You're going to really take your life up to the next level. 2020 is all about vision, clarity, and focus. We're going to show you how to find your vision, what you really want to do with your life, get crystal clear, clarity, and then find your laser focus to do what you need to do to have the amazing life that you deserve. Hope to see you there.